I want you to do is to be angry at everywhere there's injustice. I want you to have God's disgust at wrongdoing. I want you to be disappointed anywhere you see vitriol rising up. I want you to feel called as you worship that little Jewish, homeless, refugee baby, to have compassion for everybody who's outside and needs to be put in. That's our job. That's our faith. That's what we're called to do. Somebody say amen. Those kinds of endings, you're like, what? Is she finished? No. So, I'm sorry. That was awkward, but here we are. That was ending one. I just wanted to have a chance to ask Linda to respond to that and maybe ask her a couple of questions. Because how powerful is it to have a Palestinian Muslim activist in our pulpit with us? Linda's got the mic.
For many people who know me, am I on, Rob? For many people who know me, I'm not usually speechless. I have many words to say. But I always find myself speechless at Middle Collegiate. The minute I walk through the door, just love and compassion seeps from every single person. Even from the seat that I'm sitting on, the warmth that I feel in the space. And this is the Christianity that I want to know. This is the country that I want to live in. And this is the space that needs to be emulated outside the space in every corner of our country. I appreciate the friendship of Dr. Jacqui. I see myself in her, and I think that is what we're missing in this world. I mourn not by quantity or by geography or by race or by religion. I mourn life. I mourn humanity. I mourn for a 12-year-old boy who's taken from his family, who has the same name as my son. My son is 16 years old, and his name is Tamir. And when I see a hashtag on social media that says Justice for Tamir, and I can see my son and a little black boy in Cleveland, Ohio, I will mourn with every emotion that I have. I will ask God, why this child? I don't care what race or religion he is. I don't care who his parents are. I don't care what their education level is. I mourn for people in Paris. But I don't forget the day before that 42 people in Beirut were also massacred. 3 of them American citizens, Dearborn, Michigan residents. Didn't see our president stand up and say our American citizens were slaughtered in Beirut. I want to be outraged every time one of God's creations is murdered. I want to unite with people against evil. People have no idea the psychological warfare that happens to Muslims when these actions happen. The first thing that I think of is, Lord, please help me and tell me they're not Muslims. We shouldn't have to think that way. On Friday, it was my daughter's parent-teacher conference. And I was in D.C., and I took a train back, and I got to my daughter's school. She goes to a school on Adams Street in Brooklyn. And it was still early outside. It started at 1 o'clock. It was 12. And she said, okay. I said, you want to eat something? Are you hungry? Let's go get lunch. So we go to a place to have lunch, and we order lunch, takes her first bite. And she's like, I want to tell you about something that happened. And I said, okay. She said, well, I was in class, in a psychology class, and we were talking about perception. And the kids in her class, including her teacher, felt it was appropriate to use Paris and terrorism as a topic or as an example of let's talk about perceptions of Muslim. Here is my child who's the only Muslim in her class. It's like trying to have a race conversation with an all-white class with one black student. And here's my child who feels the need to have to defend her faith and defend her community. And she's singled out in her classroom. And then afterwards, when she leaves the classroom to go sit in the hall and cry, another teacher comes and tells her, you just have to have thicker skin. And my child tells me the story, didn't finish eating her lunch. And I thought to myself, this hatred, this vitriol, our kids, by the way, don't live in caves. They live and watch TV. They are on social media. They see this. The impact that it has on these young children to question who they are, question the God that they love and the God that we teach them to love, to question why are they Muslim? Is that the right choice? This, sisters and brothers, it's what's happening in our communities. I don't question the God I love, because the God that I love is the God that you love, the God that loves us all.
I could talk to you for an hour. Just one more quick question. If you are giving a blessing to this community, this multiracial, multicultural, interreligious community who loves the God you love, what's your blessing?
I pray that God, first and foremost, continues to bless you all and to protect you and your families from all evil in this world, regardless of who's committing it. I pray that God gives you the moral courage to stand up against injustice, even if you are the only one that is standing. I pray that God gives you the wisdom and the compassion to teach your children and your grandchildren and generations to come to love all people, because each and every single one of us was created by God. I pray for this congregation, and I pray that congregations like yours exist in every part of this world, in synagogues, in temples, in mosques, that what we focus on is to preach love and compassion. And I pray for you to walk in the streets of New York City and to see a woman who looks like me, who a presidential candidate says he wants to let us carry Muslim IDs. Sisters and brothers, I carry an ID every single day. I wear this hijab on my head, and this is my Muslim ID. And I ask you to give a smile, open a door, say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I guarantee you, sisters and brothers, those greetings that come from the deepest of your heart, that are sent to you by God, will be so meaningful to a person who is afraid to walk in the streets of their own city, in the largest democracy in the world, in the greatest nation in the world.
Thank you, Linda.